Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the Inside Spurs Show. Happy Wednesday morning. Hope everyone's all right. Hope everyone is okay and looking after themselves. Obviously, tomorrow night, 8 p.m. kickoff, Frankfurt at home in the first leg of a European doubleheader. Now, I'm super looking forward to this game, and I don't know, maybe it's ironically watching some of the Champions League last night and Harry Kane having a bit of a rotten time last night. I felt for him. But after watching those games and realizing that's where we should be, we need to be back where we belong, which is the Champions League, which is the Champions League knockouts as well. So the way you're going to do it this season isn't via the league, even though England have been given the fifth spot in terms of finishing fifth will get you Champions League next year. Obviously, didn't do it when we finished there, did it when we're not finishing there. You love to see it. But the way you do it this time is winning the Europa League. But to win the Europa League, you've got some hurdles to jump first. So we're going to be talking about Frankfurt. Obviously, we did a bit of a look ahead on Monday, which if you've missed, by all means, go back and have a little watch. But we talked about how they've been since Marmoush left, some stats, some figures, the results, everything. We're going to talk about the style of play that we did as well. I'll refer back to that. But I think we need to be going into this tie, even if you are a little bit downbeat, and you're a little bit sad about the season. If you can't get up for a European tie, I don't know what you will ever get up for as a football fan. I love European football so much. Hell, even if we're in the Conference League, right, and we're in the knockouts of the Conference League, I'd be up for that as well. Like Chelsea, for example, I don't know who they've got in the next round. They'll still be up for it. It's a European tie. You're always going to be up for it. So I'm really, really looking forward to this. By the way, good morning to all of you. There's a lot of you that have chatted. Milton, big man, how are you, my friend? Pray for Frankfurt. Thomas, I agree. He said, I agree. Morning. So look, talking about Frankfurt, the third best team in Germany so far this season. Doesn't mean they're exactly that now, but you know what I mean. On paper, right this second, they're sitting in third in the Bundesliga, and they're having a very good season. Obviously, Ekitike has really been one of their shining lights of the season. Obviously, coming from PSG as a youngster. Marmoush now really up north of England. I don't know what it's like in Manchester today, but he's playing in Manchester. He's playing in, the light blue, the baby blue of Manchester. So we're not going to be dealing with him. And he really, this season, was their best player by a good distance. He was phenomenal for them. Obviously, we were linked to him. I wasn't sure if I wanted him or not. Hands up. Got that one wrong as well. But looking at this game won't be decided tomorrow night. It won't be. Obviously, even Arsenal winning last night, it's not decided that Arsenal are through. You never know what happens in European football. But going into the second leg with a bit of a buffer compared to no buffer is huge. Going in there even with just one up on aggregate, meaning you don't even need to win the game. You can just go and draw the game and you will go through. Like I said, you technically don't need to win a game, right, to win the Europa League. You can get a draw the whole way through, win on penalties the whole way through, bosh. But I've sort of said 3 wins could get you the Europa League win, the trophy. Now, that's obviously very, very optimistic. There's probably going to be times where, hey, you're going to have to dig in. You're going to lose a game. And what you do and how you react to that is going to be massive. So going into the second leg, having that buffer really is important. Really, really is important. I can't stress enough, being at home first leg, you have the ability to win by, let's say, a couple. That means you're going to Germany and you've got a safety net to fall back on. So if you are up by 2 starting the second leg, you let's say you go 1-0 down in 20 minutes, don't panic. You're still winning the tie. So I'm buzzing for this game. I want to be back in the Champions League. All right. This club has been not exactly a regular fixture in Champions League. Obviously that we're not like a Real Madrid or a Barcelona who are always in there because their leagues have 3 good sides and there's 4 Champions League spots. If they didn't get Champions League, it'd be an utter travesty. But that's why it's so interesting with the Premier League. Frequently going forward, we'll probably have that extra spot given to us. That'll be, you'd think you're going to have at least one of the Champions League sides do well. You'll probably have a Europa League side do well, and the Conference League side should do very well. You should have enough to get that 5th spot. But winning the Europa League will give you that extra spot as well. And we're in the Europa League, and I look at the teams in the Europa League. There's some really nice teams in there. Lazio, solid side. Not doing great in the Serie A, but solid side. Frankfurt obviously doing well in the Bundesliga, solid side. Bilbao's on the other side of the draw. If they get to the final, that's a home game for them. That's the other really interesting thing. Obviously, let's not worry about them until we get there. But, Man United, they have European success in the last 20 years. They have a lot of it. So I'm still looking at us on paper, and I'm still looking at us going, we turn up. We've dealt with Man United multiple times already this season. Even with 12 injuries, whatever, we can still deal with them. Lazio, not doing so well in the Serie A as they did sort of last season. And watching them, if you don't completely crap the bed, you should be able to deal with them. They don't create a ton of opportunities. They normally sort of build on your mistakes. They're one of those patient teams. So look, I'm really looking forward to it. I think Frankfurt might be the most difficult test that we're going to have. But if you get out of the way early doors, why not? And at the end of the day, if you want to win these trophies and you want to beat these teams, you got to beat them. You can't hide from good teams in sort of tournament trees. It's not how it works. Maybe in like the League Cup and FA Cup, if you get a few upsets here and there, but in European football, there's just difficult games and you've got to get on with it. So let's talk about Frankfurt. Broken my chair. Let's talk about Frankfurt. Obviously, we've talked about I'm going to use my phone for this because it's still in my phone. We talked about their form recently, and in the last 11 games, they've won 4, drawn 3, and lost 4. So they picked up 15 points in 11 games. They're not in the greatest of form at the moment. They've scored 15 in those 11 games as well, but they've also conceded more than 15. They conceded 16 in those 11 games. So this is a team that will create, but they will give you the opportunity to create. And I expect when we are playing tomorrow and we're at home and the crowd are up for it, and I tell you what, if the crowd can't get up for this game, even from minute 0, I don't know if they ever will. It's a European tie. People need to empty their lungs when it comes to European ties. I've done it with like League Cup 4th rounds and FA Cup 3rd rounds. I've emptied the lungs, and this is another one of those. Get behind them, create such an atmosphere that Frankfurt kind of come out. And instead of Frankfurt going, oh, what a lovely stadium. Look at the lovely pitch. We'll be able to play some stuff here. Going, Jesus Christ. Have you seen that wall? Oh my God. Have you heard the noise out of that? And wrestling a few of those players. That's what we need. So, that they'll give you opportunity. Obviously, in the, by the way, that is the stats since Marmoush left. Okay. That's not just because, Marmoush played in some of those games. Marmoush had gone in those, right? In the Europa, they beat Frankfurt at home. They lost to Roma away. They beat Ajax home and away, 3 wins and a loss in those 4 games. 8 goals scored, 4 goals conceded. So you see what I mean? They will give you the opportunity. What you do with it is on you. If we get a game where, you'll see it. I could probably predict early on how that game will go. But if you see Maddison get on the ball a little bit, maybe spin a couple of players here and there, okay, we've got a chance today. That's how I think of Maddison. When you watch us when we're playing well, and Ange ball's sort of more towards where Ange would like it and where we would like it. A lot of it is Maddison, quick passes, get the wingers out into space, get them running, get them using their motors. When Kulu was playing midfield, it was, I'm going to find Kulu in between those lines, and what he does from there is on him. Obviously, we won't have Kulu this time. We'll see about next leg. I don't know. We shouldn't have Danso back either for this game, but Mickey van der Ven had rest, didn't he? He played against Chelsea, didn't play at the weekend. He's had a week off. I'm expecting Mickey van der Ven to be Rolls-Roycing it out there, but with a Bugatti Veyron engine. Obviously, Romero's played a lot of football recently, so let's just hope he stands the test of time on this one. But he'll be up for it. He will be. Obviously, knockout football with Romero and Spurs has an interesting history due to the Milan game. But, there is a lot of players in that team with a lot of international experience. And like I said, Frankfurt will give you those opportunities. Frankfurt come into this game off of the back of a 2-0 loss away to Werder Bremen when they didn't even have a shot on target. They had a lot of the ball and didn't do anything with it. We need to be wary of that. We need to be very wary of that. To give you some stats about Spurs and Frankfurt, the last time these two met was in the Champions League group stages of the 22-23 season. Spurs drew 0-0 in Germany. I would take that now. I would take a 0-0 in Germany and won 3-2 at home, and I will take that now as well. So in that case, we'd be going through an aggregate. The only previous knockout meeting between the two clubs was in the 1981-82 Cup Winners' Cup quarter-final. Spurs won 2-0 at home before losing 2-1 away in the second leg, but progressed on aggregate 3-2. 3-2 is a common result, apparently. Tottenham have reached their first major European quarter-final since the 2018-19 season in the Champions League. Well, obviously, we ended up going to the final that season. They've only won one of their last 13 quarter-final matches, drawing 6 and losing the other 6. A 1-0 win over Manchester City was the other one. That's bonkers. 13 games, 1 win. That's appalling. That is flat out appalling. And I know in some of those we've played some really, really good teams, but that has to be improved. That has to be improved. This is Frankfurt's third Europa League quarter-final. Despite failing to win the first leg of either of their first two, they lost 4-2 to Benfica and then drew 1-1 Barca in 21-22. They qualified both times. So there we go. There's an interesting thing. You can take a 2-goal deficit. They can still get you. So we need to be wary of that. Even if we are taking, let's say, a 2-0 or a 3-1 or a 4-2 into the second leg, don't be going in there thinking, we'll cruise this. They can still get you. Frankfurt have lost just 2 of their last 23 in the Europa League. They've won 14 and drawn 7. They've won 7 games this season already. In only one major European season have they won more times, winning 9 games in the 2018-19 season. Obviously, this is a team that's had Europa League success as well. So let's be prepared. They will cause us issues. So as long as our fans go, they're probably going to score at some point over these 2 legs. Let's be prepared for that. How you react to that is how this tie is going to finish up. Me for Gaff, not sure. Jazz, how are you, my friend? Adventurous, how are you? Frankfurt's backline is average, made up of players from the Championship. Not sure. Those stats are poor. Absolutely, Sonia. Absolutely. So look, there's some interesting stats there. Now, like we talked about Dino Topmüller, the Frankfurt manager, and we talked about their style of play and how it sort of changed from last season to this season. It's very direct. Okay, it's very quick. They will press you. They will get after you, and that will be very interesting. Like I said, they through a structure of a team that's willing to get on the ball, willing to press them, they'll play a 4-2-4. And then, like I said, they play down the wide parts very, very well. So if we're talking about a Porro, a Spence, or a Destiny, be aware. For Mickey van der Ven, be aware. For Romero, be aware. They are going to pump balls down the side or play down the sides at least. You need to be switched on. And like when we talk about, Bentancur and how he's played, obviously against Southampton, and he was, very, very good against Southampton. Frankfurt is a tier above Southampton. We talk about Lucas Bergvall and being switched on defensively to track runners and especially the runners that underlap behind fullbacks and in between the fullback and centre half is I'm going to track that runner, take him out of the game. He's going bloody nowhere. So they will create, again, they're playing 4 across the back. They will match our back 4 with their front 4. Our midfield 3 has to get on the ball, has to dominate their 2 if they play like that. Now, when they play against a team that is a bit more defensive and sits back, they play a 3-2-5. So they still continue with 2 guys in the midfield in their build-up play, but their attack is even more loaded with 5. I can see this tie being like 5-4. I genuinely can see this tie having a lot of goals in it. They try and draw out certain opponents, and finding the free man is the key principle of their game. So if, Bentancur does leave a position, they will try and put someone in the position where he is just vacated to find their attack. So when I talk about, Bergvall and Bentancur being a much more switched on combo, that's the reason why. When we talk about, whoever plays at right wing, if it's Brennan Johnson, if it's Odebear, if it's you or it's me, it's making sure that, hey, I'm going to need to close down my fullback because that's where a lot of their attacks have success. I need to be attached to my fullback at the hip, give him no space, give him no ability to pick their passes. And reality is you're probably going to need Dominic Solanke to run himself into the ground again, win fouls, link up play. Because I just think as much as their attacks go down the wide parts and they do overload it, I think through the centre, where Spurs always look for a lot of their success in terms of their build-up play between one box and the other, I think Spurs are going to find some opportunities. Again, what they do with those opportunities is another story. But I think Spurs will free up opportunities from that. Now, what I think Spurs need to do in this tie, they're not going to keep 2 clean sheets, okay? They're not. Neither are Frankfurt. I don't think Frankfurt are keeping the 2 clean sheets. I think both teams will score in both ties, okay? I think Spurs might get one out in Germany, okay? And I think we might lose in Germany, by the way, genuinely. Let's be aware that we might lose in Germany. Well, then this tie comes into a focus of that 3-1 against Southampton. We're going to need another one of those, if not more. Because if you get a 3-1, you get the extra goal. Now you've got a real buffer. You got that 3-goal buffer that, look, they might hit you for a couple, but you've got that. I talk about that safety net. There's no away goal. Away goals doesn't matter anymore in European football. So it's about you have that buffer. You concede one, the buffer shrinkens. You concede another one on top of that, the buffer smallens. You get another goal, extends. So I think it's going to be really fascinating how Spurs approach this tie, especially in the first leg. You can't lose or win it in the first leg, okay? We watched PSG smash Barca and in the second leg lose 6-1 and then go out. So, even with Arsenal 3-0 yesterday, that tie is not over. Real Madrid voodoo and black magic will kick in. It will. They'll do something. They'll sacrifice something to the gods. And they'll be 2-0 up at half time. And you're looking at it going, holy crap, that tie is well and truly back on. So for us, we need to be in the positive in terms of the aggregate. We can't be going into the second leg being down or drawing because I don't think we will have enough to get through. They've got a great atmosphere at Frankfurt. They will make a really hostile atmosphere. Hence why tomorrow at the Spurs Stadium, we need to make that a super hostile atmosphere because they'll do the same back in Germany. So we need to make sure that if they're going to get it in their home game, we need to give it to them in their away game. Now, my team that I think will start tomorrow night, look, Vic's going to be in goal, okay? He has improved a lot under certain situations like the high ball and things like that. So I think Vic's hitting a little bit of really good form at the moment. And, the performances maybe in terms of, results maybe aren't exactly what we want. But he has been a reason why we are in games. We've even drawn anything or we've won anything. He's been a really big reason. Okay. So I think Vic in goal, my centre backs, Mickey and Kuti. I think we're all 3 for 3, aren't we? I'm not saying anything right now that everyone goes, oh, don't agree with that. We're 3 for 3. Those two boys starting as centre back. Fullback's a really interesting one. Really, really interesting one. I expect Destiny to come back in because he hasn't played in a week. I think he's a bit fresher. I think he'll come back in. A part of me is thinking about Spence and Porro. And Spence, obviously, he's played 2 back-to-back 90 minutes, so it wouldn't shock me if he was rotated. But a part of me also realizes that we're going to create a lot through the centre, okay? Because if you've got 3 midfielders against their 2, you will get the ball in the midfield. You'll be able to start doing stuff. Who is going to get that ball into the midfield? And I think Porro will be that guy. I think Spence will be on the bench. And I'm not dropping Spence because you get Spurs fans that don't understand the idea that you do rotate players. It's very odd. It's like, this player's doing really well. We think he's now better than this player. Sell the other player. It's like, why would we sell the other player? There's an idea of having a squad. So if you sell that player and that player gets injured, what have you got left? Nothing. Nothing. So I think Porro for me playing in the right wing. Destiny. Destiny does the thing is with Destiny that I really love. He does get himself into good positions. Now his decision making needs to be better, but in terms of the position that he does find himself in, I watched it even against Chelsea. Romero would find him. He'd give the ball to Son. Son wouldn't do much with it, and it's like, oh, there's an issue. So there's that midfield three. I'd actually look if those. I think Bentancur and Bergvall. I just want to double check. Now Bergvall only played 60 against Chelsea. I think Bentancur played a full 90. Let me have a look. Maddison came off in the 80th minute. Bergvall 80th minute. Bentancur came off in the 57th. Yeah, Bentancur's going to be starting. Bentancur's played 57 minutes at the weekend. I think Bentancur back into there as well. I think Bergvall matters. Look, if the boys are going to give you enough, like even if it's 75, 80 minutes, I'm going for it. I'll rotate against Wolves at the weekend. I'm going for my main three. They've built a bit of confidence now. They've been playing with each other in terms of in the midfield a little bit more frequently now. I'm going with the main three in the midfield. I think we need the ability to control the game a bit more. That's why I'm thinking Maddison needs to be the conductor that he needs to start. For example, if they start pressing us and getting on us, Maddison's really good at winning those fouls that just sort of just kills the momentum of the other team. Bentancur fired up, switched on defensively. I mean, the last two games defensively, he's been very, very solid. And we could have conceded more against Chelsea if it wasn't for Rodrigo Bentancur. So I'm saying Bentancur to start. Philip, enjoy your half term, my friend. You deserve it. Kate, how are you? So I think the main three in the midfield. Now the attack. Solanke up top. Okay. There is obviously, look, he's probably going to play Son on the left-hand side, although he did look a little bit worse for wear after the game. He looked like he had a bit of a limp, but maybe he didn't. Maybe he's not, But so I'm getting loads of messages. I put my phone on Do Not Disturb. There we go. Sonny only played 57 minutes, though, so I expect probably Sonny will start. Again, a bit of European experience doesn't hurt. Sonny having that wouldn't hurt. Just think of who else in that team has some European experience, like real European experience. Porro probably has some. Romero, I don't know if he had that much Atalanta. Mickey, I don't think at Wolfsburg. Bentancur at Juventus, he'll have some European experience, absolutely. The other two midfielders, not really. In terms of knockout football, I'm talking about, by the way. Tell would probably be the only other one, just because of Bayern. But again, he probably hasn't played that much. Obviously, he didn't play much before joining us. So, yeah. Yeah, I think I think Sonny out on the left, and then on the right wing, there's a question. There's a question mark on the right wing. Johnson obviously scored a couple of goals, got an assist. Don't forget, he also got the assist for the penalty. So he had 3 goal contributions at the weekend. He was the reason we had scored those 3 goals. Odegaard has been playing a lot more on the right wing recently. Obviously, if you minus out the Southampton game, he played against Chelsea. He's been playing a little bit recently. It'll be interesting to see what Ange does with this, because you've got a guy who's got 3 goal contributions at the weekend against a team that was going to offer you up chances. Now, Frankfurt aren't going to offer you up as many as Southampton do, so you've got to be a little bit more clinical with your finishing. Will he rotate Odegaard and give it to Jono? Now, Jono played 90 minutes. He played 90 minutes at the weekend. Odegaard, I think, played only half an hour. Yeah, he was one that came on for Son, so he played about half an hour. Oh, that's a proper question, that. Because I don't think it's going to be Tell. So I tell you what, let's put it to a poll. I want to see what you guys think. Who starts? Jono and Odo. Which put Odo. I can't be bothered to put out their full names, all right? Let me know what you think because I'm really sort of umming and ahhing about where we will be on that poll. Looking at Frankfurt though, and sort of just seeing how they've been in terms of lining up. They didn't really rotate at the weekend, just an FYI. Obviously, we'll wait to see what Dino says about the team, who's fit, who's not. Just looking, so their team, they were playing. This is what Google sort of said. They're playing a 4-2-3-1, but obviously in game that very much is flexible. We had Santos in goal, Brown, Arta Theet. I can't remember his name. Is that Robert Koch at centre back? Robin Koch, yeah, that's it. Forgot about him. Yeah, Robin Koch at centre back, and Nemandi Collins. Apologies if I said that wrong. He was playing at right back. Your midfield is Tuta, Skihiri, and Larson, and then you got Bioya, Mario Goetze, and Ekatike. So I'm getting better at saying that last name, Ekatike. Obviously, you need to be aware of Michy Batshuayi off the bench because Chelsea players love doing stuff against us. Rasmus Christensen as well off the bench. Mohamed Dahoud, the former Brighton player, is on the bench. So there you go. There's a few players there. Larson's really good for him. Yeah, Ozzy Anche. We sort of talked about Larson not long ago, and we sort of discussed the fact that really, really talented player because we've been linked to him, right? Really, really talented player. He's been linked to Man City as well, and I think they're going to have a bit of a wild summer. Man City, just an FYI, moving off of Gundo, moving off De Bruyne. Walker's obviously moved on. There's going to be a lot of players that are going to move on from this summer. I expect maybe there's a chance that a John Stones, a Nathan Ake, something like that, they're going to have a mental summer. They'll be back next season. They'll be back to normal. Some played Champions League under Conte, yeah, but you know what I mean? There's no real in-depth experience. Like Sonny's had a Champions League run. He's been in the Champions League for years. Bentancur's played at Juventus for years. That's my thinking behind it. Yannick, how are you, my friend? Frankfurt's backline is hella dusty. If you isolate them on a fast break, it is long for them. More than MS, how are you? Worried about how our strikers are so blunt in front of goal. Maybe play Scarlett. No, we're not playing Scarlett. Won't be playing Scarlett. Richie's back now as well. You still got Tell. Scarlett's behind those guys. They'll sit back. Johnson needs space to run. Odeberg can operate tight spaces to take players. I love Odeberg, but Brennan's our top scorer contributor this season. Gordon Spence, never eat a steak prepared by a football fan who doesn't understand rotation. There you go. There you go. Looking at the poll, it's 50-50. The poll, vote in the poll if you haven't already, by the way, guys. I'm going to end it in just a minute. 50-50. I'm really sort of umming and ahhing, I just feel like if they're going to press us, I would probably go Odeberg. Now, obviously, Jono and Porro have a bit more of a chemistry between them, having played as much football as they have. Yeah. It's a really difficult one with Jono and Odeberg. It's probably the most difficult I have choosing of the team. Because I think Destiny comes back in, so that means one of your fullbacks gets rotated out. I think Porro will start because he didn't play against Chelsea, in terms of serious minutes. Obviously, Spence got substituted. Spence didn't get substituted against Chelsea. No, he didn't. No, he was ended up playing centre back, I think, in the end. You see Spence playing more in Germany. I could see Spence playing in Germany. Yeah, I could see him. Yeah, especially. I mean, look, the interesting thing is they have pace in that team, but they have trickery. Mario Goetze is not a fast guy. All right, I'm probably a lot faster than him, but he would spin me around the block about a million times before he decided what he wanted to do with it, and I wouldn't get near him. In a straight line sprint, I might have a chance, but as soon as he puts his foot on the ball, I'm screwed. All right, so you won't need a lot of pace, but the only pace you really truly need is at centre back. Ekatike is a quick guy. He's very quick. Hence why I wouldn't be surprised if Ekatike winds up playing more Romero's side, knowing that that Dutch guy that plays centre half is the quickest footballer in the Premier League. Probably don't want to have to deal with him. If I have to, I have to. I probably don't want to deal with him if I don't. I think we need 3-goal margin. Spence looks better on the left. I think Son should be dropped. By the way, when I talk about this team, it's not about who I would start. I'm trying to get the mindset of what Ange will do. So, I wouldn't start the team that I wouldn't start the team maybe that I've sort of said, but I'm not opposed to the idea of this is probably what he's going to do. If Brendan scored that brace this weekend, we'd all have picked Odegaard. Big up Annie, big up chat, happy hump day. You too, big man. Johnson at home, we need a goal threat. Odegaard starts away. A doggy won't start. I think a doggy will because he didn't play in the week. That's why he didn't play in the weekend, so he'll have a week rest. I'll start Grant at 6. Son should be dropped. Odegaard on the left, Slanky up top, Johnson on the right. Son's been shot all season, even though we all love him. He's not been shot all season, mate. That's a big over exaggeration. Right, I'm ending the poll because it's ended 50-50, which is mental. But now let's do another poll. Here we go. Right. Results. Win, draw, and a loss. Now, this isn't to do with the second leg, by the way. This is just the first leg alone. That poll. Who you think, or what you think is going to happen. Shout out BT for the member for the month. Hope Slanky steps up tomorrow. We'll need it. Absolutely. It won't be high scoring. I think it will be. I think Spurs are going to win, but I don't think Spurs are going to win by multiple, which is going to come back to maybe haunt us. Do I like polls? What kind? Let's be positive. Absolutely, AJ. And a flexing emoji. It will not be a draw. Okay, right. Well, Steve thinks it's going to be 5-0. I can tell you what Steve thinks before everyone else finds out. For me, whilst you guys are voting, for me, I think we will win. I think we will win. I think we'll win 2-1. I don't think we're going with a very big buffer into the second leg. Hence why we're going to have to go there and score at least once in the second leg. Okay. I think 2-1. Who do I think is going to score? There's something about Romero. Like watching Romero against Southampton and realizing how close he was to getting a brace makes me think, a little Christian Romero, like bullet header sort of thing. I'm going Christian Romero. He'll shut up a lot of Spurs fans if he does that. And whoever plays on the right wing, I don't care. Whoever plays on the right wing, I think they'll score. We score 3 or more goals. I went to win. Honestly, don't know. 4-2. Sonny hat-trick. Oh, lovely. One thing is sure, we will concede a goal. I think we'll concede in both legs. I do. Frankfurt won't come out to attack. They'll have 2-3 chances on the counter. I think they'll come out and attack a bit more. Doing us a favour, we'll lose 2-0 with a winky emoji. Love it. Johnson and Matters, love it, Sonia. At 5-0, Porro gets a brace from 20 plus yards. Oh, he's scoring a couple of bangers. I think Son will score 3-1. Andy Howard's 2-1, high scoring. Yeah, no, I kind of changed my tune just before I gave my prediction. I've been really on it with predictions recently, so if you're a betting person, you might want to have a look. Speaking of fans who don't understand, they're certainly entitled to their opinion, but learn the game in and out before you comment. It's getting embarrassing to be compared to those kind of people. It's just Twitter for you. YouTube has a lot more switched on human beings. Twitter doesn't. Twitter people like to act that like they're this tactical magician. And if I told them, could you spell a doggy's last name, they wouldn't get near it. I say, what position is Archie Gray's brother playing? They wouldn't have a clue. So it's like, don't listen to people on Twitter. They're very reactionary. Whereas on YouTube, we have a bit of a discussion, and I feel like between us, we learn. You don't learn anything on Twitter, mate, other than how to be miserable. Pedro's delivery is lush. We 2-1 or 3-1. 3-1, put money on, lads. I can feel it. Spurs need to score first. I can see Sarr playing over someone like Burwell first leg. What I don't agree with for me, and for me, I'll go 4-1. Sarr won the goal like most of his goals. Hopefully fans will rock the place. Yeah, I hope the atmosphere is intense. And I hope that the Frankfurt players feel like they're sitting up, the fans are on top of them, they're sitting above them, And he's given his lineup. He's gone for Vic, Porro, Romero, Van der Ven, Spence, Bentancur, Bergvall, Matters, Odegaard, Solanke, Johnson. But I do think Son starts, to be fair. Then stick Son in there. Stick him in there. No, I think Sonny will be starting. Again, I know a lot of people who want to see Odegaard and Tell play loads more. There's a time and place. There is a time and place. And when it comes to European football, we kind of need some experience out there at some point. because you're playing against a Frankfurt side who have had European success in the last few years. I'm going to need some players who are experienced in big games. We don't have a ton of them. Romero's there. Sonny's there. And after that, you might say Porro from his time at Lisbon, maybe. Bentancur at Juve. After that, you're sort of somewhat struggling. Hence why I think Kulu, if Kulu can be back for the second leg, that will be an absolute game changer. Hell, we might even hear from Ange today that Kulusevski is going to be in the squad somehow. Oh, look, Kulu's walking fine. Kulu scored 12 in training. Kulu's done a bicycle kick. And you will get Spurs fans going from, I think we'll win, or I think we'll draw, to, okay, we're going to win. Because big Kulusevski's about. All right. It's going to be a 5-2. Oh, love that. We're going to go 6-4 in aggregate. Oh, my God. Frankfurt fans will be so loud. Exactly. Yeah, we have to be as well. Also, I have this little feeling we'll get more minutes of intense play from us. I think Ange's ordered them to play within themselves. I think with the second half at Southampton, for me, I do kind of feel like it was more of a we're managing the game now. As soon as they scored, we hit back into third or fourth gear and we scored another one. So as much as I was disappointed by the second half, I kind of understood it after a little while. So I wasn't that fussed by it, if I'm honest. I wasn't as fussed as other people were. Hi, Andy. 3-1, mate. 3 goals deserves 3 beers. Play those double fireworks after we win. Yeah, if we win, we'll give double thumbs up. We'll get some fireworks. All right. Tell score record off mentioned the Champions League for Bayern is crazy. We will be there. I did see the Kulu leaving rumours. I talked about him yesterday, Yannick. He won't be going. Will Kulu be available for second leg? I think it'll be touch and go. I don't see Kulu being around for this leg. Neither Danso. I think Danso, listening to Ange last week, Danso, he says it's a couple of weeks away, which you would then think 2 weeks after the Chelsea game will be the second leg. So I think Danso may be back at the weekend following. They might stick him on the bench, sort of break glass in the case of emergency, but he'll probably be back for the weekend fixture after the second leg, which, Romero is going to need a break. Kulu, I think Kulu's going to be similar in terms of timeout. I think Ange probably doesn't want to risk him, but I think depending on how this game goes tomorrow, it wouldn't shock me if Kulu, who probably won't be, he might not even be that fit, is on the bench for the second leg. And, we might bring him on if we need him. 4-1 first leg, 3-2 lost second leg. Well, we go through. Madison's great. Thank you, Sonia. I felt Ange wanted to see how he played defensively compared to attacking non-stop. To practice matches will need to be defensive at times. Interesting. Madison's the key. Am I the only person who's still an Ange loyalist? I'm just a Spurs loyalist and I want to win. I just want to win. I don't care who the manager is anymore. I just want to win. And if we win the Europa League trophy, then I will happily say to Ange, let me buy you about 1 million beers. All right, you deserve it. Is it true we linked with Glasner? I'm talking about it in a second. I'm just worried we don't have the ball. Our shape is terrible. Let's just see how we go on that. How much Levy spending on pyros, fireworks, and light show? No idea. Wouldn't surprise me if we got a sponsor for it. Right, let's talk about this Glasner report really quickly to finish it up. So, came out from Sport Witness saying that there was a report surrounding Leipzig and their interest in Danny Roll, the Sheffield Wednesday manager, to be their manager, obviously, after sacking Marco Rose. Well, it's also, he's one of the few names linked alongside Oliver Glasner, the Palace manager. There's claims from Austria, which stated sources close to to Glasner, we're talking about any eagerness to move to the Bundesliga club. Various factors, including a perceived lack of power, with others such as Jurgen Klopp having an input, would be a concern. Glasner wasn't keen to leave English football for such a scenario. Tottenham Hotspur are now being presented by the German media as another problem. Spurs haven't had the season they hoped for, and Ange Postecoglou's time may be up in the summer. Sport Bild magazine says Glasner remains a candidate and that Tottenham can offer a higher salary, therefore beating Leipzig to the manager. The German media may want to dismiss Tottenham being more attractive as being solely down to money, but that problem isn't the case given the previous reports from Austria. Intriguingly, it's stated Tottenham isn't the only Premier League club to have made contact. Who the hell have made contact? Oh, it doesn't actually go any further. Who else has made contact then? What other team in the Premier League need to make contact over Glasner? Anyone got any clues? Well, that's Chelsea sack Maresca for some reason, which I don't think they will. Won't be Nuno at Forest. Won't be Arteta. Won't be Slot. Obviously not Pep. Won't be Eddie Howe. Who the hell else is it going to be? I mean, Jazz, the only one I can think of is Chelsea if they stink up the gaff. But if Chelsea win the Conference League, they won't get rid of Maresca because they've won something, you know? So, and plus, I think they're in fourth at the moment. So, having an all right, if they get fourth and win the Conference League, for Chelsea, for after the last couple of years, that's a real massive turnaround. So, yeah, it won't be them. Leicester, Southampton. The Aussies are out in force, giving me a lot of crap in the chat, evidently. But look, on Glasner, yeah, of course, we'd end up paying more than Leipzig and Palace because that's what we do. Is when it comes to our managers, we always pay them very, very well. That's why when we sack them, we always have to give a massive payout. So when it came to Jose and the Carling Cup final, the League Cup final, because I'm old like that, they wanted to get him out before he won it because, hell, that's going to cost a lot of money if you do want to get rid of him. So when it comes to Glasner, I think Glasner's on a year. He had a really struggling start to the season. I mean, when we played them, they hadn't won a game. Do you remember at home when we went to them? They hadn't won a game and they beat us. Oh my god, there's so many of those teams this season. But they'd really struggled, and actually they've turned it around. They're in a league. They're in the FA Cup semi-final. They're above us in the league. 11th, 10th, 11th, 12th, something like that. Somewhere in that little pocket. He's got them playing. Obviously, not doing it with a huge budget, but he has got them playing. It's not the worst name to be linked to. He was the Frankfurt manager when they won the Europa League as well. So he has European success. That's the one thing that you can say him against, like a Frank, a Silva, Iriola. He's won a European trophy. He didn't win the Conference League. He won the Europa League. So he won the second biggest cup. He's managing the Bundesliga. He's managing the Premier League. He's probably got a similar record to those guys. He probably would be the better option. He's not working with a huge budget. Fulham probably work with a bigger budget. I feel like I could be wrong, but Iriola's spent money, but that's because they sold players. You know, had they not sold them, wouldn't have been spending that kind of money. Yeah, maybe. Well, why are we looking to replace Andrew Glasner? I don't rate, to be honest. Fabian Hertzler over at all. Hertzler won't leave Brighton. It's too cushy a job. You just need to finish in the top 10 and you'll be kept on. How big is Andrew's payout? No idea. Poll. Yes, Sonia. 80% think we're going to win. Look at that. 80% think we're going to win. Oh. Woo. Come on. I can't wait for tomorrow night. I really can't wait. I absolutely love European football and European knockout games. I absolutely love them. Give me Frankfurt tomorrow. Give me a good win. Give me in Germany and get through that tie. And then we'll go, oh, Lazio, Bodo Glimt. Oh, I'll see you in the next round, big boys. And then Bilbao on the other side of the draw. And you're like, oh, Bilbao are a half decent side. Oh, we'll deal with you at home. Oh, yeah, you're at home? Oh, yeah, we'll deal with you as well. Just Ange sitting on the sidelines going, mate. All right. So, look, I'm really looking forward to the tie. I hope you are as well. Get up for it. Okay. This is a game that you're going to be up for. I know my Aussie supporters in the chat here give me all the crap they could possibly give me. All right. I know they're going to be up watching the game. All right. Milton, Steve, Aussie Ange hater. All right. I know they'll be up there. They'll be supporting. I know the fans in the stadium are going to be up for it. They're going to be loud. They're going to be behind the team. You guys at home, even if you're not at the stadium, you're across the world, your support is always massively needed and wanted as well. All right. We'll be there. All right. Let's smash it, lads and ladettes. Absolutely, AJ. Looking at 3-1-4 on us, but over there will be a nightmare with our defense. Well, I tell you what, if I go there with 3-1, Lewis, I'll be a happy bunny. And DJ Classic Tunes. Of course, DJ Classic Tunes. All right. You'll all be there. My Melbourne fans, my Sydney fans, Milton and Wollongong. You'll all be there. All right. I don't know if I've got anyone from Perth. I don't know. Or Brisbane. I don't know. All right. But you guys will be there. I know you'll be absolutely supporting us. It'll be the middle of the night, whatever time it might be. I don't know. And you'll be there just like us, screaming at the TVs, screaming in the stadium. I cannot wait. European football, European knockouts. If you can't get up for it, what else will you ever get up for? Bloody coys. Bloody coys. Lee as well. Lee as well. I will never forget you guys. Bloody coys. I'm pumped. 3 a.m. 3 a.m. We will be there with you. All right. We'll be there with you. Quarterfinals too. Quarterfinals. You just quarterfinals. All right. This guy did some pretty wicked stuff in the Champions League. Yeah. This guy. He did some pretty damn good stuff in the Champions League. All right. Need some players to step up and go, I'll have a bit of that. Heung-Min Son going, let me just turn back the clock. Watch this. I'm going to absolutely rip you shred to shred. You know? I want to see Brennan Johnson giving it all the SH1T housery. I'll have it all. I will have every single drop of it. Let's die for the shirt. Absolutely. Simo, where are you from Australia? You got to give me a Canberra. There we go. Canberra. Ooh. I didn't actually end up going to Canberra. I didn't. Champs will be back soon. The man that announced himself in the champs. This guy. Hey, if you want to move to Real Madrid, that thumbs up for you. You want to move to Real Madrid? This guy has the blueprint. I'm just joking. We don't want to talk about those people. But he, in the San Siro, we're against the European champions. Oh, I'm going to score a hat-trick. And then we're going to bring him back here, and I'm going to run at the best right back in the world, and I'm going to ruin him. I'm going to tear him limb for limb. I want to see more of that. I want to see that attitude. That's what I want to see. You're not going to be him. You're not. He's one of the greatest British players to ever play football. He's one of the greatest players maybe ever to play football even. You're not going to be this. That is a level that we may not get back at Spurs for a long time. Lights are brightest. Games mean the most. That's the attitude that I want to see. That's the kind of player that I want to see step up. It doesn't mean I need that 24/7. I don't need it 24/7. I don't. But if you go out there with a real attitude to say, it's a two-leg game, I want to try and finish this game now. I want to finish it at home, and I want to absolutely kick the crap out of these guys. That's what I want. Okay? Like I said, the tie won't be finished, but you can go with the attitude of, I'm going to finish it tonight. You know? I want James Maddison going, oh yeah, you want to get near me? Ball's in Sonny behind you. What are you going to do about it? Jono's at the back post going, hello, mate. I'll have the ball. I'll tap that one in. I want Big Dom Solanke doing Big Dom things. All right. I want Rodrigo Bentancur doing Rodrigo Bentancur things. I want to see the Rodrigo Bentancur that I've seen play for Uruguay in the international break. I want to see him how he's playing against Chelsea and Southampton. If I get a bit more of that, I will have that every day of the week. I want to see Lucas Bergvall continue this trajectory and becoming an unbelievable centre mid. These are the games you want to step up most in, Lucas. Let's have a bit of it, please, as well. I want to see Pedro Porro screaming at people. I want to see all of it. I want to see absolutely every bit of emotion come out of that team tomorrow. Knowing that, hey, the league's a crapshoot. I get that. And you know what? We were 90 minutes away from the Carling Cup final, the League Cup final, sorry. We crapped it against Liverpool. Obviously, Villa in the FA Cup, we're out. These boys will know this is the last chance we have this season, and it's a great opportunity. I want Christian Romero going, right, listen here, Ekatike, all right? Oh, the ball's gone over the top of me. Oh, you're really quick, are you? Mickey, finish that. Mickey goes, I'll have that ball, mate. Thanks, mate. Can you just, cheers. Thank you. I want to see that Vicario. I want to see anytime that ball goes in the box and it's up high, Vicario going, I'll have that. Thank you very much. Boom, counter-attack. He was great at Southampton in the high ball. Distribution wasn't great against Chelsea, but under the high ball was still solid. I want that. I don't care if you're Ange out. I don't care if you're Ange in. I don't care if you Levy out, you Levy in. I don't care. I do not care. I want European success. I want to win something. I want to beat Frankfurt. And I want to come on here after the game tomorrow It's late at night. I'm a little bit sleepy, and I'll come on here and go, that's a bit more like it. I'll have a bit of that every day of the bloody week. Absolutely love it. We go to Germany with a spring in our step. I don't care what happens against Wolves. It'd be nice if we beat Wolves as well. We continue in momentum. You know, we beat Southampton, we beat Frankfurt, we beat Wolves. We go into Frankfurt with some momentum. I'd love that. That's what I want. That's what I want. Ooh, a lot of passion came out of me there. Sorry about that. We haven't got Bale now. We haven't, but we got me. Ekatike. Oh, I'm just going to pick you up and run down the tunnel with you. I'm going to lock him in the change room. You can't get out. I'm not having that. You're from Kent, you little shite. You little shite bag. I've rewatched Bale vs Inter. Love it. 6-0, Andy. We will be there. I'll do the pre-game speech. Although Ange, for one thing, if you don't think he's a good manager or not, his speeches are bloody good. I think it'll be all right. But if he wants to, like a tag team, WWE tag team match, tags me in for the hot tag, I'll come in there and be like, right, listen here. You listen here. Just digging into people and then looking at Mickey Van der Ven and go, you're all right, not you. I'll dig into someone else. I'll take me digging into you. I'll give it to someone else because they probably deserve it more than you. You're all right, Mix. Maybe the best Spurs player, Bale, loved him. Brilliant. I'm loving the positivity. Absolutely, JMP. It's all about positivity. It's all about positivity. It's a European knockout game. I don't care if it was the Conference League, the Europa League, the Champions League. Hell, I didn't even care if it was the Intertoto Cup in the early 2000s. I would be up for this. If you can't get up for European ties, whenever you're ever going to get up for football games. That's what I'm talking about. You put your levy arm in and your arm out, shake out. Yeah, all right, good one. Both keepers are injured for this tie. Yes, the Frankfurt injured keepers are injured. Kevin, trap. It's a trap. Can I recommend you some good movies to watch? I'm not a big movies guy, mate. Sorry, I really don't watch them, to be honest. I can't sit still for long enough. Am I coming in at half time? As Simo say, let me cook. I'll go in there. Go, listen here. All right, you beautiful son of a guns. All right. Listen here. I see Lucas Bergvall and I go, that's a great head of hair on you, young man. Great head of hair. Anyway, moving on. And then I see Son. I'm like, that's another good head of hair. I'm jealous of you all. Passion and positive. And get on the pitch with attitude. Let's hope players have that attitude tomorrow. I want to see it. I want to see it. The way you're going will get you on the pitch. Just let me on. I'm gonna annihilate Hugo Larsson. Oh, are you gonna try and spin me? Are you? I'm just gonna literally dump tackle you. I'm playing rugby now, big man. European game under the lights at home at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. If you can't get up, I'm going to keep repeating this. If you cannot get up for that game, you will never get up for a game of football in your life. A lot of these players haven't played European football. A lot of these players haven't played European football, knockout football as well. There's a few of them on there that have gone. Romero, for example, I've been in the World Cup final. I won in the World Cup final. Those games will have you in the history books in front of all those fans for decades and decades. You want to be remembered in football? These are the sort of games you have to go out there and do the business. I don't care what happened in the season anymore. I'm taking it game by game now. Win this game. Do your business. Play the football. If I witness what I witnessed in the first half against Frankfurt, you will win this game by a couple. And I need that. I need that. Biggest game of the season. This is absolutely, hands down, categorically the biggest game of the season for me. Now, do you know why? Because I don't give a crap what's happened behind me in the rest of the season. I'm thinking about April 9th. I'm thinking about tomorrow for April 10th. All right? Come on. I'm so pumped, honestly. I'd run through brick walls to win trophies. I'd run through brick walls for this club to win trophies, honestly. We really need this, Andy. Most deserving club to us. Barren years aren't good. Let's hope the players are watching this, Andy. I guess they're training today. Yeah, they'll be doing some training today. They'll be doing some training. Obviously, Ange Presser feels like won't be out in too long a time. Hopefully, just, in terms of the injury news, I don't expect us to have anyone back, by the way. I don't expect Danso or Kulu to be back. So with injury news, let's just hope we're all right. We got through the game okay. Everyone's ready to rock and roll. That, for me, I'll take that because I'm not expecting either of the two to be back. But, I want some of those players who have been here when we've had some European nights, when we've had some success. Like Son, for example. People go, he's not a captain. He's not this, he's not that. But you know what? He should say, This stadium with Champions League was raucous. We beat Man City 1-0. It was raucous. And people write us off in that game. Oh, you haven't got Harry Kane. You're a one-man team. Heung-Min Son scoring a goal going, if you've got about me. Give me that attitude from Heung-Min Son. That arrogance. I love Sonny. He's a great guy. He's a guy that you'd love to go to the pub with because he's such a nice guy. I want to see that hot streak and arrogance come out from him tomorrow and say, do you forget about me? Because that Heung-Min Son, if he turns up, that's the best player on the pitch. Genuinely, that Heung-Min Son of that arrogance when it came to big nights. You think of that Man City double tie. He's pretty damn good in those two ties. He was the reason we ended up winning in theory when you think of all the goals he scored in that time. Bit of that. Bit of Romero going, I've played in bigger games than this, but these games are these games are the games that define you as a footballer. I can't wait. I can't stress enough how much I cannot wait. I feel like a kid before Christmas. I wish I'd get in the change room and give him some welly. I'd give it some welly. Oh, I'd give it some welly. I'd rip the doors off the hinges. Players need to step up, put the performance in for the manager if you back him. Do you know what? It's not even about the manager anymore for me, mate. Do you back the club? Are you going to play for the club? Do your business. Forget about who the manager is. Go out there and do the business for the club. That badge there. That badge there. Do it for that. It doesn't matter who I don't care if you love the manager, hate the manager, or anything in between. That's the club. Do it for them. Because if you do it for them, they'll remember this. They always do. Every time Ange puts all the eggs in the game, it doesn't go to plan. Hope he gets it right tomorrow. He'll be all right. Absolutely love you pre-match. I'm buzzing for it as well, Big D, mate. Pressure for one game. Sonny was asked, how do you score 1-1 all the time? He's grinning. Yeah. It's not about the manager. It's the club. Absolutely. Absolutely. Right. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. You absolute bloody legends. I like this unity speech. Well, could do with more people like you, mate. Just listen here. Listen here, you orange man, Donald Trump. Listen here, Keir Starmer. Putin, I'll have a word with you as well, big man. All right? Come here. Just pull them by the ears. Come here. I'll have a word with you. All right? Players should be playing for their shirts. You play for the badge on the front because they'll remember the name on the back. Absolutely, Kate. And that's a brilliant place to finish. Thank you all so much for joining me this morning. You absolute bloody legends. Take that attitude into the rest of your day. A real positive attitude, all right? Take that into tomorrow. All right. Let me put the Discord link in there for you, Jazz, and the rest of you. If you want to join the Discord, all right, because it's a bloody positive place to Discord. Come and join us. Come and join us. Take that attitude into the rest of your day. Have an absolute belter of a day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Well, let me hype you up a bit more tomorrow. I'll be there tomorrow to hype you up. I'll see you all tomorrow. Have a great bloody day. Peace.